Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV.
Up first, a shout out to our sponsors. In the unofficial world of deli greatness, Ziggy Gruber wears the Triple Crown. This owner and chef of the 25-year-old Kenny and Ziggy's New York Deli and Bakery in Houston has run 3 very successful delis. He's the 3rd generation in his family to own a deli. And Texas is the 3rd U.S. coast where he's educated the population on how life without a great deli really is no life at all. His triple wins have made him the #1 deli in the nation. And lucky for us, he's in Houston. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Good Taste for the Soul. I'm Tanji Patton. I've been very blessed over the years to have coworkers that I also consider friends. News 4 San Antonio Living Show host Shelly Miles is one of them. If you live in South Texas, no doubt you've seen her winning smile weekday mornings on the popular lifestyle show. Well, time on TV is always a little limited, so I thought it might be fun to get to know Shelly a little better. Shelly Miles, good to see you.
Hi, good to see you. And I'm at your place instead of you coming to our place.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, this is kind of a turnaround of events. So this is fun.
Yeah.
This will be great. And it's such a great opportunity. A lot of people see you on Living and in your work role, which is you, but there's a lot more to Shelly than meets the eye. So I thought it'd be fun for them to find out some personal things about you. And we can talk all kinds of stuff. I mean, you and I have been in this business a very long time.
Yes.
For me, anyway. I'm older than you are. But, I think for women, it's a business that can be challenging. And anyway, so we can get into some of that. And then I'm curious about your makeup questions. I have
Okay.
for you. Little things like that. But
I love
really fun stuff too. And I guess let's take it back to the beginning of your career. I met you in the 90s and I was doing Living at the time. You were in radio
Yeah.
and started working at the station part-time, right?
Yes, it was the very tail end of the 90s. And I had moved to San Antonio with my husband and our daughter, who was just under 1 year old. And I was working at this place called Metro Traffic. I think that's where I started.
I remember.
And from there, I was able to get jobs at KJ 97, Kono 101. And then all of that led to me being hired as the traffic person at the station. So it was crazy times because I have a broadcast journalism degree that I got from Northern Arizona University, but I went straight into radio. So even though that was my degree, I had been working in radio for, I guess, since I was maybe 19 years old. So TV was definitely the end game, and I'm very lucky to have reached there, but radio was where it started.
Well, and anyone that remembers those days will agree with me. You were a natural talent, on radio, and truly, and it made such an easy transition because TV,
Yeah.
the same thing. I mean, you were yourself, and I think audiences are very um, discernible, and they can see through things that aren't real. And you've always had an authenticity about you, but that talent you were a natural. So it was no
Well,
surprise to
thank
me
you.
when you got the Living Show at all. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. We both are sharing wine. Speaking of
Oh,
living,
yes.
something we do on that show, right? When I come on with you. So you brought a wine you wanted to tell us about.
Okay, I have a go-to. And because we've talked about this a lot, like Chardonnay used to be my go-to.
Yep.
Whatever happened, somewhere down the line, Chardonnay turned too buttery for me. And I know there's some crispy Chardonnays out there, but I switched to Sauvignon Blanc. And this, Nobilo, or I
Oh
think that's how
yeah.
you say it. How
I've
do
seen
you
it.
really say it? Is it Nobilo? I don't know.
Put it in front of the camera a little more.
I
Spell it.
think that's
I
right.
still can't see it on my video.
Nobilo. I don't know. It's a New
Where's it from?
Zealand.
New
New
Zealand.
Zealand.
Nobilo?
Yes.
I would think Nobilo, right?
Yeah. And
It's
it's so
English
funny.
speaking.
Whenever there's a Chardonnay and I don't know how to pronounce it, they'll say, "Do you want the California or you want the New Zealand?" I always want the New Zealand. My mom calls it grapefruit water.
You and my husband like the New Zealand. He does
It's so
too.
good.
He does
So
too.
good.
I can go either way, but the one I brought, I'm with you. I am not into right now, and palates change, the big oaky buttery shards,
Yeah.
right? I like a crisp one. So I did a Chablis, and
Mm.
this is just a Louis Jadot. This is classic Burgundy, but it is not in oak, so you don't get any oak. So you just get the fruit. So it's just fun
Okay.
and crisp, and of
I'm
course
gonna
I
have
got
to
that
try
one that'll
that.
eat you. Yeah, it's good. No oak. That's a big deal. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we've got the wine settled. Um, let's go back and talk a little bit about living. So
Okay.
you came into living out of radio, and it was clearly a good move all around. And how many years have you been doing it now?
I, a question about time, right? I think I've been a
Math.
part of living almost 20 years at this point, because when
Wow.
I started, you were the host, and
Mm.
Leslie Bull was
Yes,
the reporter. I think Maclovio Perez was working on there in some way, shape, or
a little
form.
bit.
Yes.
And
And then I
Mike was there.
snuck in. I was like, get me out of this news. I can't stand the news. It was so depressing. And I
Yeah.
absolutely hated it, because I did traffic in the morning, and then I would go straight and turn packages for news. And it just wasn't my thing. I didn't like the sad stories. I didn't
Yeah.
like having to go and badger people and, talk to parents minutes after their child had been injured or hurt. Like, it just wasn't my thing. So I had begged the news director at that time. It was Mark Pipitone. Remember him?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I
Begged him,
do.
hey, let me just go work on living. I don't know what they do over there, but it looks way better than news. Let me go, please, please, please. And so he was like, all right. All right. And he talked to Leslie, and I guess you, whoever. Anyways, I started reporting like one day a week. I don't know. And then it turned into two, and then three, and then shifts happened, and people moved around, and an opening popped up. And lo and behold, there I was. And I've just been so thankful that that path opened for me. And I have to tell you, I am probably one of the luckiest people to be able to do what I love still to this day at
Yeah.
51 years old. I mean, it's been a long time, and I know that not a lot of people can say that. So I'm very lucky and blessed.
No, you are. Well, and all of us as viewers are too, because it's fun to turn on to a person out to any show. You want
Yeah.
to know the people on the screen, right? At least we
Yeah.
feel like we know
Yeah.
you.
Well,
But the
I do
consistency
owe
has
it
been
all
great,
to
I
you.
think.
I need to say that, because, and I've told you that before, but without you and Leslie, like, showing me the ropes and being
Oh,
open to having me a part of the show, I wouldn't be here. And so I try to carry that forward with all of the younger people that come in,
yeah.
for the first time. And I see skilled, I call them kids because they're way younger than me now. But I
I
just
call
pass that
everybody
along to
kids.
them. You guys helped me out. I'm helping out the kids as well.
Uh, well, you've been there 20 years. I don't even remember how many years. I was at the station almost 20, and the changes in that period of time were dramatic. I
Yeah.
would imagine you could say the same thing about you've been on one show all that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Um, the changes have just been dramatic in the
It's,
whole industry, right?
it is very true. People think that they see the illusion, I suppose, that we put forward every day, and they don't know what goes into the behind the scenes. And
Mm.
what you do, what I do, it's the job of eight people. And people don't know that. And
No,
that is part of the fun, right? Because we get to have our hands in everything, and we've learned to do a lot of things that we probably never would have learned to do just being the face in front of the camera. But
yeah,
I mean, we just take on more and more and more every single year just to get the same product out. Um, it has greatly been reduced. And they've been telling us for years, TV is going to go away. It's all going to be
Yeah.
digital and social media. But here I am. I'm still here.
Yeah. TV stayed, but all the budgets got cut.
Yeah,
That's why, I mean,
exactly.
in reality, and that's why people in TV are having to do a whole lot more,
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
a whole lot longer hours.
Yeah.
You just have a lot more responsibility on your shoulders,
Yep.
uh, in maybe different ways too than we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed dramatically. If you and I've never done this, ever met up for a glass of wine and just talked and compared notes, because I go into the station now as an outsider,
Yeah.
and I can tell it's different. You guys are
Yeah.
doing so much more than, oh my gosh, you used to have a team,
Yes.
that did
The
that,
team
that
is,
did that.
we're all right here. I remember one day you were there and you asked me, "Are you okay? Or is everything okay?" And the answer is no, right? I'm not okay because there's so many
Yeah.
things to do. But yes, of course I'm okay. And only you or anyone that's very close to me would notice that, behind the scenes, I might be pulling my hair out. But
Yes. Oh
in the
yeah.
front,
Or
we're holding it all together.
Well, no, that's true. And, especially you're on a live show. So when
Yeah.
it's 10 a.m., it's 10 a.m.
Hmm.
and you don't miss that hit. And there could be things going on
Yeah.
that people of course, they have no idea. Maybe it's in their personal life. It could be anything.
Yeah.
But as much as there are times you want to just, break out a Kleenex and cry, you can't.
Nope. Mm-mm.
You really learn, I think, skills of, pressing things down and projecting everything's great.
Yes. 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 That's a
And
good
and
skill to
that
have.
and that's just I was gonna say that's a talent all in itself. How do you think it's changed? So what'd you say, 51?
Yeah.
I'm 65. So I would imagine, and I think the business in some ways maybe has gotten easier for women
Hmm.
as they're getting older. And I hate to sound so cliche, but in some ways I do think it's probably a little better now.
I would
Only
agree.
because yeah,
Yeah.
back when I was going into the business, which my first job was in my 20s, I remember thinking, this is a job I won't have beyond 40. I
Yeah.
mean, I really thought that'll be it for, a woman in TV. And I think those norms have definitely gotten better and changed, don't you?
I would agree. I could remember 10 years ago thinking, "Oh, I cannot do this job past 50. There's just no way." But I'm
Yeah,
51 and now I'm thinking, "Oh gosh, I need to do this job until I'm at least
right?
60 because everything's so expensive. My kids are expensive, blah, blah, blah." But
Yeah.
I think in that respect, it is better. I worry about what I look like all the time. I
Shelly,
do
that's normal. I do too.
right? I compare myself to other people in the same field.
Yeah.
I get sucked into the whole social media thing, and I have to remind myself that, a lot of the people that I'm looking at are sitting in front of a giant, beautiful light like I am right now, right? And, when
Right.
I'm at work, maybe I don't look the same, or maybe in January I'm 10 pounds heavier than I am in June, And so there's all
I have
those
several pairs
pressures.
of jeans.
I have a whole closet from 8 to 14. I mean, it is what
Yep.
it is. But you just have to remind yourself that, I'm me and
Yeah.
that's all I can do. And I will say, no one in the industry, at least boss wise, anybody, managers, no one has ever said anything about an appearance situation to me ever. So that's
And
good. I've never been in that situation. Everything that I've dealt with, I think I brought it on myself and I put it on myself. And that's not to say that viewers don't comment because they do.
yes, they
And
do. Oh, yes, they
that's
do.
hard because
Yeah.
I'm like, fine. Okay. Well, you're right. I am a little heavier than I was a little while ago. Or, you'll be at the grocery store and someone's like, "Oh, you're so much thinner in real life," or whatever. And I'm like, sorry,
Yeah.
but at this point, I'm past it. I'm just
Oh, good for
trying to
you.
do the best that I can. And
Yeah.
look the best that I
It's all
can.
we can do,
It's all we can do.
and at least there are, and I'll admit to the filters on the phone. You know, I,
Yes.
I'm all for the filters and good lights and makeup and all that. But
Yeah.
I do think women have a harder time with that. I've never heard
Yeah.
any men talking about, oh, my makeup color's not right, or
Right. I
oh,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so
Yeah.
it is a little more different, and maybe the viewers are somewhat more forgiving than we think. You know, we're our own worst critic, often
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. I have gotten
But it is.
less comments lately. That's very true. Like it's been a while since anyone said anything. They're probably just like, oh, yep,
Yeah.
Shelly's old like the rest of us now. We're going to leave her alone.
Yeah, well, that's kind of we have a great audience too. They've
We
been
do.
with us a long time, so maybe they are more forgiving. But it is. It's interesting to hear you say that you're aware of it too, because I
Yeah.
am too, and I would think most. I don't know of a woman in the business that's not,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
some degree. Now, maybe if they've already reached, um, a New York career and they've got a huge, retirement account waiting on them and all that, it might be a little different. It's kind of they're on the who cares
Yeah.
phase,
Yeah. No, I'm
but,
not there.
no, I'm not either, and I like working. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but, I like working.
I do like working. I don't want to ever not work. I think at some point I
Right.
would like to work less, but
Yeah,
I'm not there
yeah.
yet. There's so much life ahead. We're just halfway, right? So there's
Mhm.
more stories to tell, more food to eat, more wine to drink, more people to meet. It's not done yet. No.
Yeah, I agree with you. I keep hoping they keep making good Botox and, good makeup.
Can they make it cost a little bit less? Like, why has that not gone down in all these years? What's the deal there? I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
You're right. You would think by now they've got
Yes.
competitors and everything, so
Yeah.
you would think it would be going down.
Yep.
To me, you always look good on air,
Thank
so
you.
I'm curious if anybody is out there, like, what mascara do you like? Do you like and do you prefer
Everything I
lashes? I
use,
mean, everybody has a different.
yeah. The only thing that I am a stickler for the is MAC. So MAC
Yeah.
foundation, MAC press powder, also MAC lipstick and MAC lip gloss. Eyes, grocery store,
Wow.
like Revlon mascara, nothing exciting there. I have
Yeah.
been wearing fake eyelashes probably, I think, since COVID because I was doing the show here during COVID and I put
Yeah.
eyelashes on one day and I was like, oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
And
No.
now I can't do anything. Well, not in like in real life, I'm not wearing eyelashes out to the grocery store. Sorry, friends that see me at the grocery store. But eyelashes helped me a lot for whatever
Yeah.
reason. So these guys are staying on every day.
Yeah, I like them too. I don't have them on now, but I often on the show, when we're taping on a set piece in the kitchen or something, I'll put them on.
Yeah.
Um, I use the little individual ones. I think you're using like a the set,
Yeah.
right?
You must have more patience than me. I'm like,
Well,
put those
yes,
on, keep them
probably.
on. Yeah.
No, maybe you have a better, steadier hand. I always have trouble getting those things on, and I've
It's
tried the
hard.
magnetic ones. I've
Yep.
tried. I give up. I can't.
It
But
is. It's
I would
trial and
do that. I
error.
do.
It is. Yeah.
But I don't wear them in real I call it in real life. I don't if I'm
Yep.
on and I need it for TV, I might, but I'm not doing it in real life. Well, talk
Yeah.
about a typical day because
Okay.
you guys come on live at 10, but
Yep.
a whole heck of a lot of production and preparation has gone into that show before we get to see it.
Yes. Yes. So I do most of, okay, so let's say I go in, I don't have to go into work until 7 o'clock, which is amazing because in the old
Yeah.
days, we used to go in for the morning news at 3:30 in the morning, which was
Yeah.
god awful. So I'm thankful for
So
that.
7's great. You don't have the traffic going in and
Yes,
nobody's in the
it's
station hardly. Yeah.
perfect. It's perfect. So at that point, when I get in, I am just doing finishing touches. So I'm looking at the show, I'm making sure everything's correct, I'm checking spelling, making sure we have all the pictures and the video and things like that. I think I told you the other day that I learned how to make graphics, which was my latest
Yeah, I'm
skill. And
impressed.
I was like, this is too much. I don't want to know this. But alas, I had to figure it out. So now when you see like pictures popping up on the show, or like we call it the plasma, it's the thing behind you. I'm making that. which is
That's
hilarious
cool.
in itself. And then at that point, we go, we do the show. It's an hour of craziness. After the show, we meet. We talk about, what went wrong, what we can do better, what we liked, what we didn't like. And then from about 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm working on the next day's show. So
Yeah.
in our particular show, in this day and age, there are 8 segments. And so that means 8 little blocks of different things. And I handle anywhere from 3 to 4 of them every day, which
Wow.
means I book
Wow.
them. I get the information. I put the show together. I put the pictures together, the video, blah, 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 put it in. I have a main producer that works with me. I have an assistant producer, and then I have a correspondent. And so all of them are also responsible for the other segments that go into the show. So we're all just working, plugging things in, and
Yeah.
then magically it comes together.
It's a total team effort. And
It is.
talking about dedication to the show, back when you first started on Living, you had your second child,
Yeah,
your daughter, right?
I
And you
did.
actually,
On TV.
can you imagine? I cannot.
I can't
That was
imagine I
great.
allowed it now. But back then I was like, okay, come on down to the
Yeah.
hospital. It'll be great. Yeah.
I just think that is so wild.
It was
That is so
crazy.
wild.
So our producer then was Danielle Austin.
Yeah.
And we had kids that were of the similar age. And so we were all watching this show on TLC called like A Baby Story or something like that. I don't know. It followed moms around, while they were getting ready to have their baby. And so Danielle had this great idea. Oh, look, you're pregnant. Let's do something like this. And I was like,
Let's use
okay,
you.
okay, sounds good. So I mean, it was insane. Danielle was in the delivery room with me and Travis and
Oh
Addie
my
at that point.
God.
And so, yeah, it was great. I don't remember a lot
That's
of it,
wild.
so that's good. Um,
Danielle
it
was
was
a great
crazy.
producer.
She's a great producer.
I
Great
thought
producer.
I love Danielle, and Patty
Yes.
Tanner, who was the original, was wonderful
Yes.
too. I mean, 2 totally professional, fun women.
Yeah.
Th that was a
But
great
you
time.
guys, you guys built that show. Yeah, it was nuts. And so Addie is 20 now,
Oh my
and
god.
I know it's crazy. We also had a contest for the viewers to pick her name. And this is in the old days. This is before social media. So they had to send an
Yeah.
email to the station with the name that they wanted. And I remember Danielle coming in with like stacks of paper. She's like, "Here's all the suggestions we got today." And I went through them all. And I liked the name Maddie because it was popular then. And then someone said Addison. And I was like, oh, we could call her Addie. And so we went with that. That's how Addie got her name.
Perfect. That's cute. And both of the girls are in college now, am I right on that?
So Addie goes to the University of Mississippi. She is
Okay.
on the dance team there. And then Taylor graduated from A&M and she is a teacher. Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
crazy.
Well, it's crazy how time flies. It
It
really
is.
is.
It's nuts.
I'm trying to remember how old Cash was. When I was doing Living, it was in the '90s. I think he was elementary school. Yeah, he
It's
was like
crazy.
5, 6. I
I
know, it's
I
crazy.
know it's crazy, and people always ask me about the girls. Like when I'm out and about, they remember Addie being born, which is crazy.
Well, yeah, that's pretty darn memorable.
Hmm.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. What would be something I mean, people watch you every day. They know what you like, based on things you say on the show and whatnot. What is something they'd be surprised to find out about you,
Hmm.
Shelley?
Uh, I'm pretty competitive. Like maybe you can
Yeah.
tell. I don't know. I play tennis and pickleball, and I'm
Oh, cool.
competitive in both those sports. Although getting a little less competitive the older I get.
At least
Um,
you're out there doing it.
It is.
That's
It's
great.
so fun. It's so fun. I took it up because Travis, my husband, played tennis in high school here in San Antonio, and he started playing at the club, and I was not seeing him. Like he was gone every day. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm playing tennis." And I was like, "Okay, I'm going to learn to play some tennis then." And so I did, and now he's given up and I'm the only one playing tennis still. So that's fun. I've met
So
a
when
lot of
your
great people
time
through
off, you're
tennis.
over there playing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Other than that, I like cats. I'm a cat lady, that's for
I am
sure.
too. I am
um,
too.
and I'm a solid dance mom because both the girls grew up dancing. And if you ever watched, Abby Lee Miller or the Dance Mom series, like I could have been cast as one of those moms. I'm
Oh,
like that.
wow. That's a hard there it's a lot more work
Yes.
for the parents than people realize.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I've spent, I mean, Travis and I talk about it, the hours, the money that went into both
Mhm.
girls dancing from the age of, 2 or 3 years old to both of them are still dancing. It's a
Yeah.
lot. It is a lot.
Yeah, oh, yeah. It is expensive. It's kinda like the kids that are in the extracurricular sports things, the
Yes.
leagues.
Yes.
They spend an inordinate amount of time,
A ton.
practicing and going to tournaments, and then the parents have to pay to go to the tournament. I found that out once recently, and I was like, "Y'all have to pay after you're doing all this other
Yeah.
stuff?"
It's a
Yeah,
very
I
big
mean, yeah,
business. Yeah. It's crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy. But I'm
it
happy
is.
to do it. I loved every minute of it, and they're both very good dancers. So all worked out.
Aw, which is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit my world,
Okay.
restaurants and dining out. What are your favorite spots to go out to eat to? Do you go out very much?
I don't. I,
Oh,
I,
good. I
I mean, I
understand.
do. We have to eat, obviously, and I
Right?
don't cook a lot. I do not. I mean, I do maybe
Uh-huh.
like twice a week, but it's just us, so there's no real point. Um, if it's like a special occasion or I'm celebrating, my number one go to, and this is old school, but it's Ruth's Chris always. That's like I'm going there
Really?
for
Oh,
my
wow.
birthday and my anniversary. Always. Always. We are not
What do you get
deviating.
there?
The
The filet?
steak, yeah, the filet, yeah, and of course cream spinach and
Yeah,
the lyonnaise or however you say it, potatoes.
the good
They see
stuff.
me coming, they know what I want. We are good to go there. I love Trey, Jason Dady's Trey, Trattoria. How do you say it? Am I saying it right? Trattoria,
Trey, I
either
think
way.
that's right. Trey Trattori.
That used to be on Broadway. Do you remember when he opened up there?
I
And now
do.
he's down at the museum reach part, at the San Antonio Museum of Art. That he has this mozzarella that he makes by hand, and there's toasted bread and there's salt and this mozzarella, and like I dream about that. It's so good. And that's all I need. I mean, I eat the bolognese and other stuff too, but that mozzarella is what's bringing me in the door every time. And then like my go-tos around the neighborhood or whatever, Stoneworks, Fish City
Uh-huh.
Grill, love that.
Yeah.
I love Fish City Grill.
It's easy to
um
eat healthy there, right?
it is. It's so
There's
good.
something
There's so
grilled.
much good
Yeah.
stuff there. But you feel like I have this weird thing. Like when I go out, I want to feel like I'm eating at home, like a home cooked meal, And Fish City Grill is like I could have, if I knew the recipe, I could make it, but I don't. But that's
Yeah.
what it is. So good. There's so many great restaurants, but I tend to gravitate towards those two. La Hacienda, also on my list when we need Mexican food. Um,
Yes.
Lupe
And that great
Tortilla, another good
patio.
one. So many good. There's too many good restaurants. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. It there are, and we're on the road so much eating out, and
Yeah.
it's we there's so many great places, and I always say, "Oh, I wanna come back here." The times we've had the time to go back, are limited
Yeah.
because we're gone a lot. But yeah, it's a fun thing. There's something special, I think, just about dining out, whether it's with
Yeah.
your husband or with friends. It
Yeah.
really is such a social coming together. It's a sharing, and it has an intimacy to it,
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
that is special. I think
That's where everyone
it really
gathers, right? Like, let's go grab a bite to eat,
absolutely,
grab a glass of wine, whatever. So good.
yeah,
It brings us together.
it does. And you're right. I think wine does the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, meeting up with friends and whatnot. It's kind of a it's a what is the word I'm looking for? The older
I
I
don't
get, the
know.
harder it is to
But on
get
that
words
note,
out
I'll
of my
have some wine.
head. Okay, I will too. Cheers
Hmm.
to losing the memory.
There we go. Right? I love it.
Exactly, exactly. So 20 some odd years, I'm curious because You've been that show for people who for the few who may not have seen it,
Yeah.
you cover the gamut on every kind of content, right? You've got the fun stuff, you've got the serious stuff.
Hmm.
I didn't realize you were on an honor flight once.
Yes. Oh,
Oh my god.
what an experience. Like that was amazing. One of the guys
Yeah.
that runs the honor flight here in San Antonio reached out to me and we did a segment on the show. And I was very interested in honor flight because I hadn't heard much about it, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate in itself. But it just was such a great organization. And for people that don't know, Honor Flight, there are several chapters in each city. They take veterans to see the monuments in Washington, D.C., that they may have not visited before, monuments built in their honor. And it was amazing. Myself, my photographer, hopped on a plane in San Antonio with these veterans and the team. We went to
Mm.
Washington, D.C. On our flight, we had mostly World War II veterans. There was one
Oh my
female World War II nurse on the flight.
god.
And we just got to talk to them. We got to hear their stories. They were reminiscing a lot. And, these men and women have such stories to tell. And you know, there are not that many World War II veterans left out
No.
there. I think at this point now, they're mostly taking Vietnam veterans. That's the age that they're focusing on. But it was an incredible experience. I had never been to Washington. That was the first thing.
Ah,
And so to be able to sit at the World War II memorial with a group of men who fought in World War II and to hear them talk about it, it's like a book just opening up and speaking to you. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And they come on the show to this day after that flight. The same guy is running it, and he always asks me when I'm going to come back and when I'm going to be a part of it. And I keep saying one day soon. So
yeah,
that is
I
on
would
my list of
imagine.
things to do as a volunteer because just the information that they have, the stories they have to tell, the
Mhm.
things that they saw, it's just a little part of history that is, you know, it's amazing to hear
Well,
them tell what they
and
went through.
that generation had such a depth of character. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, there was it was a, there was special people at a special time.
Yeah.
Um, but I can imagine that would be incredible. The When you're interviewing people, I used to always ask people to ask, who's your favorite person to interview?
Hmm.
My answer was always, it's never the famous people ever.
No. Yeah.
No, Hollywood, it would never was. It was always the everyday people like the ones you're just talking about
Hmm.
that have really done something,
Yeah.
you
They,
know,
so
made
many
a
people
difference.
do so many good things in this city.
Yep.
And to be able to tell their story is such an honor. It really is. And I wish I
Yeah.
had more time because oftentimes you're trying to squeeze this, two-book story into 4 minutes. But it really is, they're entrusting us with their story, And so the way that we handle it is very important. And you have to respect the story, whatever it may be. You have to give it the respect that it deserves. And I think that is the beauty of what we get to do every day.
Yeah, it's humbling to meet so many of these folks that
Yeah.
just go by, John Smith out in the public. No one would have a clue
Yeah.
what behind the scenes these people are responsible for. It's awe-inspiring, truly.
Yeah.
How do you think doing this show for 20 years, has it changed you in any way? Do you see the world a little differently? Do you see people a little differently? Because you see a lot of different glimpses of reality.
Yeah. I would say that it has really expanded my views on just about everything because you name a topic, I have met someone who has come on the show or been a part of the
Mhm.
show to talk about it. So, whereas like on a normal day, your little Rolodex of things that are in your head might be like this, but
Mhm.
I feel like I have 1 minute's worth of knowledge on just about anything you could ask. And I think it's amazing. Like, I don't ever want to forget that stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
I spent so long learning it and hearing the stories that I probably should have been writing this stuff down at some point. Do you ever think that? Like,
Well, I yes, and, to me, it helps you keep a more open mind. Does that make
mhm.
sense?
Yes.
Um, it's so easy for us all to get in our own little world, our own little news bubbles, or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be, and when you're starting with meeting all those different folks from every different walk of
Hmm.
life and every different kind of life situation, I I think it was helped keep a more of an open mind, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yes.
Broadens your
Mhm.
understanding.
Yeah, because we're listeners too, right? We're not just talking
Right.
all the time. And I think that by listening to anybody and what they have to say, it gives you more information on whatever it is they're going through or talking about. And we wouldn't have access to this information if we
Yeah.
didn't listen to and meet so many people on a daily basis. So it's really been, I think, something that has expanded um, my little tiny brain that I have up here.
I know the feeling of
Yes.
the little tiny brain. Some days it's smaller than others. I absolutely do. Well, what do you think is next? So, living for 20 years, do you have any thoughts or ideas? Maybe another 10, 20 years on living, who knows?
Fingers crossed, right? Um, I used to tell Travis a couple years back. I'm like, Travis, I can't do this TV thing forever. I'm getting older. I'm trying to plant the seed that I might not work forever, and Travis is not having it. So every, the other thing that's knocking on the door constantly is that they tell you that this is not going to be around for a long time, right? People aren't going to be watching TV. There's not going to be a need for something local like this anymore. And I think they've been saying that for at least 15
I've
years.
been saying
So,
that since the time. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I want to,
Local
at this
TV should
point, I
never
want to
go
hold on.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hold on as long as I can. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I just, like, please don't fire me yet.
Oh, please. No, you do a
Let
great
me
job.
stay.
You do a great job, and like I say, I think so much of this show's success, it's a great team, and you're such a great representative, and people want to see familiarity, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so I think you being there that long, people know you. I mean, whether they've even met you,
Yeah.
they feel like they know you, and I think that's special. I think that's why local TV is so important. So is local radio
It
and local
is.
papers,
Yes.
or even if it's online. But it's crucial to so much of I hate to get all formal on you, but I think just civilization,
Yeah.
just democracy and all that, and
Yeah.
local TV plays a big role in that.
It's very
So, and
true.
we all need to laugh and we need to smile and you
Yeah.
get informed and all of the above
Yeah.
with you on
Well,
living.
like I said, it kind of started with you. So thank you for that.
Mm.
I mean, it's
Those were
crazy.
fun
Think
days.
about that. Like,
It was
1999 maybe is when I came onto the scene, and it is 2025.
yeah,
It's a long
it is
time.
crazy. It is a long time. It is a long time, and it really does. Time flies. I don't know if it's getting older, time goes faster, or if it's that we have so many of these things, information coming
Yes.
at us
Yeah.
that things seem like they're moving faster. Everything's a little more frenetic, if
It's
that makes
cra
sense.
yes. I mean, it
Yeah,
is April. I feel like it's July. I don't know where the
I know.
months have gone. It's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
why I've gotten into paying attention to the outdoors. Wild Birds Unlimited is instead of my go shopping at Dillard's or whatever, I'm
I love
heading
that.
to the bird store.
Look at that. That's a fun fact. I didn't know. You're a bird watcher. Okay. I like
I
it.
am now. I am now, and I love it. Yeah, there's something really peaceful and tranquil, and there's a great connection to our creator and nature, and for
Yes.
me,
Yeah.
and I love it. So
I love
anyway,
that.
well, you are a breath of fresh air every morning, and I
Thanks,
always look
Tanji.
forward to the days I get to join you because it's just fun to go back. It's a family, and it
Yeah.
always will be. So cheers to your 20 years and 20 more if you desire.
Yes, yes. And thank you for always being a friend, a fan, and everything that you do. We wouldn't be here without people like you because you started it all. So thank you,
Well,
Tanji.
it's been a fun journey and it was a blessing. Cheers, Shelley.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV.